me see, I'll take a second to make sure that everything's all good here. Okay. So what's going on, everybody? It's your coach. Early morning. Happy New Year, happy 2019. I can't believe it. Crazy. It just seemed like 1999, and we were rushing to get to a party before the clock struck 12, and it was 2000. But man, it's crazy. Yeah, so just wanted to throw up another piece of mind as I'm moving forward. Like I said, my goal is to create an online academy, personal development, also alternative education. That's my goal. So I'm going to move forward here with a whole bunch of different series of videos as we're moving forward. The other thing I want to say to everybody is that, yeah, you know what, as I'm looking forward to getting back into coaching, I don't know what's that's gonna be. It's probably gonna be, you know, as my little guys get a little bit older and if they want to get involved. I mean, regardless if they want to get involved in the wrestling or not, it's my passion. It's what I love to do. I love coaching and mentoring young people. So I want to do that. However, I want to take it into a route where my passion is, man, and that is to help, little young black boys, especially. So I've devoted, about 20 years into helping everyone else's community. So I want to specifically go at it from the perspective of my own community. So for the next for the last 20 years, like I said, I've just kind of thrown myself out there, my entire passion into wrestling itself. So now I really want to channel it. I want to focus it. I want to do it in our own academy, preferably down south in the U.S. somewhere. So yeah, I mean, if you know anyone who's interested in a project, I'd love to speak to you. It's my, I'm gonna take my community development project that I've had for the last 10 plus years. I've been extremely successful at it up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I want to take that down south and really start to really work with our community of young black boys in down south. I feel that down south is somewhere it's a little bit there's a larger population. It might be it's just my passion, man. That's where I want to go with it. And even just talking about it right now, I can just feel like the fire burning in my belly. And so that's what I want to do, right? So then we're going to create this academy online. I also want to take it live as a wrestling academy to help the community down south. With that being said, the topic of today is your planning, right? That long-term plan. And so really, the topic is really start with the end in mind. So start with the end in mind. What does that mean? So a few years ago, I heard a motivational speaker by the name of Les Brown, another incredible man, probably one of the top motivational speakers, trainers on the planet today. And I was at a point in my life where things weren't going so well. Actually, things were going really bad for me. I just moved out into the Northwest, out in British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada, and 4 in the morning, 4:30 I think it was in the morning, I got a phone call from my dad. My brother has just passed away. He was been shot. He was working in a nightclub, and so here I am. I just created a brand new world for myself, and my best friend in life just passed away. So it was devastating, and so I was at a point, and that's that's my passion, right? Like that's what a part of my passion to work with young black men, black boys, black men, however you want to call it, youth. So that devastated my life, and so here I was now. I just kind of got my life together, and now this tragedy, and that really spun my world upside down. And so after I went home, kind of dealt with the funeral and everything else, my parents told me, hey, you know what, go back out west, go do your thing, and don't hang around here. So I came out west, and man, it's just one of those things that I was just at a point in my life then. I came back out west, and I was just in question of everything. I'm like, why am I doing this? This is crazy. I remember hating God. I remember that point, hey, if there's a God, like, what the heck? Like, we're not bad people, like, what? So I just remember everything just basically flatlined for me at that point. And I remember I didn't start college yet. so I was looking for a job, right? Because I have a bunch of money saved up, and so I was looking for a job at the time, and I went into what I thought was it was going to be an interview for a position, but it was actually something that to help you to actually develop resumes and stuff like that. I didn't know about all that stuff. I was good at resumes. I didn't know that's what it was. So there I go into this thing, and then I found out what it is, and then I was kind of a little bit too embarrassed to say, you know what, this is not me. I'm going to be gone, whatever. And so I decided to okay, I'll just kind of stick around and make it work. So I stuck around, and the first thing they did, they said, okay, we're going to show you, this tape. And so this is the first time I saw Les Brown. I didn't even know that person existed. And so, the things that he had said on that tape, and that really changed my life. So, I know one day I'm going to meet Les Brown, and I'm going to share my story with him, and I'm able to give him a hug and say thank you for, really changing my life. If not, even that could possibly saving my life, because I was really down and out then. So anyway, back to the story. So on it, one of the things that he started talking about was, what you got to do when you decide to make plans to do something, especially for your life, is start with the end in mind. He just said, just start with the end in mind. So as you're going through, whether you're an athlete or the parent of a young man, young girl, young woman, and you're making plans, start with the end in mind. Just like, even here's a quick example. So when I first came out here, like things like the SkyTrain, I can't even remember, it was like 12:30 or something like that. That was the last SkyTrain. It was like crazy. It was like Vancouver was like young. It was like a dead town basically. It was a nice place to be, but nightlife was dead, at least compared to what I was used to in Toronto. So you think about the SkyTrain is done. So as a student, if you were planning on going out, if you didn't have a car, you're going to be doing transit, right? So if you go downtown, so you plan on going downtown and partying for the night. That was your plan, right? So the end result is, okay, I wanted to go downtown and just have a great party. So if that was your end result, that's what was going to happen. But realistically, the end result is, should have been I want to get back home, right? So if your end result was to get back home safely and be back in my bed, nice and comfy, then one of the things that you start to look at would be like, how am I, so I'm going to be going down, so I'm going to start backwards. Okay, so what time do I want to be at home? Okay, I want to be home at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, let's say. Then you'd say, okay, let's move backwards. Okay, the club ends at this particular time. Okay, well, how am I going to get back home? Okay, so now I have a decision. Well, definitely not transit, not SkyTrain, because SkyTrain doesn't run. So SkyTrain's out of the picture. So what else is it? Okay, let's look at our options. Taxi. Okay, taxi is going to cost me $30 to get back home. What other options there? Maybe I can hitch a ride. You know what I mean? So you start to work things back a little bit from there, and then you get back to where you are right now. All right, then you get back and say, okay, I'm going to leave at this particular time, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So so as you're planning things, so if you're a parent and you're looking at your son or your daughter and you're saying, okay, well, I want to make a plan for them. Start with the end in mind. Okay, well, the average person, they say, is going to pass away at like 96. And if you're a couple, plan for one of you to live to 104 years old, 104, 106, one of them. So you got to look at it like, well, how everything that I'm putting. Okay, so if my son, let's say 96, the average is going to be my son and my daughter. They're going to be around 96 when they pass away. Well, let me create a plan starting at their age, 96, for them now, right? So how do I want them to live? Retirement. Well, when they pass away, well, funerals are expensive, right? So make a plan for that. Start some insurance or something like that for them. So that way, at least it carries them. They can take over it or whatever the deal. So when they're dead, they're good. What about their retirement? Well, when they can't work anymore or not able to work anymore, what can I do to help them? Well, maybe I can start a business for them, and or something like that. That in their retirement, that business can take care of them. Maybe they can start investing in some, in stocks or bonds or something long term for them, so that at least when they get to retirement age, or regardless if they screw up as an adult, they've got something. So you kind of see how that kind of works along, right? Education, education wise, so when as you're starting your plan, you want to plan that backwards. Even if you're a youth, use an example. Look, I'm 15 years old, or I'm 16, whatever. All right, start to think about that. I'm probably going to live to about 96, right? If I get married, me and my wife, one of us is going to be going into our hundreds. That's that's the reality of it, right? Well, you start to plan that backwards. Don't plan it forward. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to school. Then plan that backwards. Okay, here's what I'm gonna be like. I'm gonna retire at whatever age, 60, blah blah. How am I gonna live between, So if I retire at 60, and I'm probably gonna live another 36 to 40 years. Well, how that's gonna work out? How do I want to live my life during that time? Okay, you know what? So then you kind of plan it backwards. Same thing as if you're competing as an athlete, right? Plan that backwards. What is your athletic life? How long is your athletic life going to be? Is it going to be this long, like a year or two? Is it going to be like 5 years? Is it going to be like 10 years? Are you hoping that to be one of those few that has like a 20-year athletic life? Well, if you say, okay, let's say the average athlete is going to be like 10 years, right? I'm 15 right now. I think I'm going to be like 25 when I'm finished. Well, plan that backwards, right? When I'm finished at 25, what do I want life to be at 25? Okay, I'm finished. I'm going to graduate from school. I have a job. I have a business, income. Like, where do I want to be? Do I want a house? Like, at 25, when I'm done, here's the things I want to do. When I'm on a launching pad, you know what I mean? I would probably, if I was an athlete, and I think like 10 years, I would plan it maybe like 30 years down versus like 10, because 10, you're just kind of finishing and getting out there. So that's, so start with the end in mind. Don't start now and then move forward. That's like I know traditionally education, that's what we plan. But so here's what, one of the most successful trainers, motivational speakers, business people on the planet said, start. And even Robert Kiyosaki, that's one of the things he says. He says, work backwards. All right, make your plan, like, whatever it is, if it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, and then work backwards. All right, so start with the end in mind. That's my goal for today. Remember, if you have any questions, or if you want to get any more information, or you want to know a little bit more about planning and development, especially as youth, you can always email me. That's garfieldgary@gmail.com. GarfieldGary@gmail.com. All right, so outside of that, you can always, you can find me on Instagram. You can, jump on Facebook. There's like a bunch of Garfield Garys, but you'll see me. I'm the one with the Muhammad Ali in the background. All right, well, outside of that, Happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.